everybody, Mrs. Bianchi. We're looking at number 2. A pod of narwhals weighs 5 and 3/8 tons. If an adult narwhal weighs an average of 1 and 1/4 tons, what is the maximum number of adults in the pod? So first of all, I have a number line here to help us model this. My number line wasn't big enough, so I had to extend it a little bit because I wanted to try to model this 5 and 3/8 for you. So 5 and 3/8 is almost 5.5, just a little shy. So this red line right here represents the weight of the entire pod, which means we're talking about more than one narwhal. There's a bunch of narwhals there, and that's what we're trying to figure out. Now, we do know that one of the narwhals weighs an average of 1 and 1/4 ton. For modeling purposes, we should rethink this as eighths so we can model it on the number line. 1 and 1/4 as an improper fraction would be equal to 5/4. And if we rename this as eighths, we have to multiply these both by 2 to get 10/8. So do you see how this little blue oval that I have here, do you see how that represents the one narwhal, which is 10/8, which again is equal to 1 and 1/4. So the question is, how many of those can we fit? So here's the first one. This would be the second group of 10/8. This would be the third group. Oops, I grabbed the wrong thing. This oval right here would be the third narwhal. This would be the fourth narwhal. And then we don't have enough here for this narwhal right here, the fifth narwhal. So the question is, how do we deal with that? Because 4 is not a choice here. And we're not going to pick this because we can't have a partial narwhal. We either have it or we don't, right? So what's the algorithm for this? The algorithm is 5 and 3/8. So let's write that down here. 5 and 3/8. This is what you're putting on your piece of paper. And we're taking that amount and we're breaking it up into equal groups of 1 and 1/4, which remember we said was equal to 5/4. But I'll put it back as 1 and 1/4 so we know. Now, step 1 is to change any mixed or whole numbers into improper fractions. So we're talking about eighths here and we're talking about fourths here. Just copy the denominators. Now, we already earlier modeled this on the number line, but how do I get the value? It's going to be 8 times 5, which is 40, and add this in, which is 43. And this is an improper fraction. Multiply 4 times 1, which is 4, and add this in and get 5. Then we say to ourselves, keep, change, flip, which really means we're multiplying by the reciprocal or the divisor. So this stays as 43/8. We change this to multiplication, and we flip this to its reciprocal. We have a reducing opportunity between this 4 and 8, so let's take advantage of that. Divide by 4 and get 1. Divide by 4 and get 2. We don't have anything we can do here. The GCF of 43 and 5 is 1, so that we can't simplify that further, nor can we simplify any of the fractions that we have like here or this. So when that happens, you go right across. 43 times 1 is 43. 2 times 5 is 10. Now we have to take the numerator, which is 43, and divide it by the denominator, which is 10. And it's going to go in 4 times. Put this on your piece of paper, people. Subtract, and we have 3 left over. So it's going to be 4 and 3/10 would be our quotient. However, why are we not picking this as a choice? Because if you pick that, you're going to get the wrong answer. Why? Again, it goes back to, can you have a partial narwhal? No. We're not going to be doing anything malicious like cutting it in half with a knife or anything like that. We're talking about full, unharmed narwhals. So what are we going to pick for our answer? We don't have enough for that fifth one, right? Because this is the first narwhal, narwhal number 1. Here's narwhal number 2. Here's narwhal number 3. Here's narwhal number 4. And we don't have enough for narwhal number 5. But we have to interpret, what does this really mean? And what this really means is that remaining piece must be a young narwhal, like a little baby one that hasn't grown up yet. Maybe it's like a few months old. So what are we going to pick? We're going to pick that last answer right here. This is your correct answer.